What's good, you guys? It's your boy Jay Freshman back with another tutorial, and today I'm gonna be showing you guys how to record in FL Studio. So first thing you want to do is go to the mixer, go to an empty channel, go to your inputs, and pretty much just click the input that your mic is plugged into. So for me, I'm using the Focusrite, and it has two inputs, but I have my mic in the first input, so I just click the first input, and you'll see that it will show up like this. But before you can even have this option, like let's say you didn't have this option, it's probably because you're not using an audio device. So you want to go to options, audio settings, go to the drop down menu, make sure you're using one of the audio devices like the Audio for All or FL Studio Audio or your interface. You don't want to be going to the primary sound drivers. There's just too much issues, artifacts, and just lesser quality. And then the next thing to go over is the buffer length. As far as the buffer length, you really want to have it below 6 milliseconds when you're recording anything. Like let's say you're recording your you playing an instrument and shit with your band. You really want to be below 6 milliseconds if you can, just so there's no latency issues. Or this is when you're using like MIDI, you feel me? If you're actually recording, you know, your actual band, then that's a whole different scenario. But if you're using MIDI, you're going to see that if it's at like a higher buffer length, that it's going to have a lot of latency. And that's probably a issue you may be having right now, where you're trying to like play along with your MIDI, but it's just so delayed. It's probably because you have it at a high buffer length. So 256 is good to play instruments. But as far as vocals, you want to have it down below 3 milliseconds. Well, for me, I like it below 3 milliseconds because it brings it back to real time. You gotta remember, recording, you want to bring it back to a real environment. This is what recording is about. Like, you want it to be in real time. You don't want to have no latency issues, because if you're recording your vocals at 12 milliseconds, you're definitely going to know the difference. It's definitely going to feel a lot harder to rap because you're trying to rap on beat, but your voice is not being signaled correctly. So you want to fix that issue by lowering your buffer length. And if you could get it to 16, which is 1 millisecond, then you're golden. But the only way you can really do that without using a lot of CPU, because especially if you're trying to record in the same file as your project or your beat, then first of all, off the back, if you're using plugins like Omnisphere and all that shit, you're just going to be using up a lot of CPU, even if you have a great computer or not. You know, you always want to just have different workarounds when it comes to certain things. So for me, I would easily render all of that and either have it all tracked out and put it into a new project, or I'll have one WAV file and then put it into a new project. Because if I have one WAV file, I know I can definitely record at 16 and 16, and then it will only be 1 millisecond off, and dude, my delivery is going to be a lot stronger because now it feels like I'm in the actual environment. You know, I brought myself back into a real-time environment. If you feel like your delivery is off, this could probably be hindering your process of, you actually getting your music out the way you want to get it out. So with all that said, I know that was a lot, but you got to understand that, you feel me? Like, things is just, you got to understand context, man. You can't just have somebody tell you quick shit like, hey, do this with no explanation. You really want to have you really want to ask questions so you could really understand for yourself. Because, I could be using a different computer and then, you just don't know how to make it work in your situation because those settings doesn't apply to you. So definitely understand shit. And then you could just click on that and then go to the mic up here and then click the second option into playlist as an audio clip. And then we'll start recording pretty much. You can see it up here. You can stop it. You can play it back. And then we'll start recording pretty much. And then you can also play with the metronomes. And let me know if you guys want me to go more into depth, like what to put on the actual channel to really get a good signal process going. So share this with your other producer friends that didn't know how to record or they're trying to record in FL Studio. And have a nice day.